Hey guys, so we're continuing on with Junior Penetration Tester, and here they go into careers in cyber. I think this is very interesting. Um, so let's see what they say here. Cybersecurity careers are becoming more in demand and offer high salaries. Okay, and then they say why to get into cyber? High pay. Jobs in cyber have high starting salaries. Exciting work. That's very true. Be in demand. There are over 3.5 unfilled cyber positions. There's a lot of unfilled cyber positions, but a lot of those require like 5 years in a CISSP. So, it's very competitive. But let's go ahead and go through this. So, task two, you have a cybersecurity analyst. That's my current job right now. So, analysts are integral to constructing security measures across organizations to protect the company from attack. Analysts explore and evaluate company networks to uncover actionable data and recommendations for engineers to develop preventative measures. This job role requires working with various stakeholders to gain an understanding of security requirements and the security landscape. Responsibilities: work with various stakeholders, analyze the cybersecurity throughout the company, compile ongoing reports about the safety of the network, documenting security issues and measures taken in response. Develop security plans, incorporate research on new attack tools and trends, and measures needed across teams to maintain data security. All right. So yeah, this is very true. Because you're talking to various stakeholders like, C-level executives, maybe you're talking to the business owner for that section, right? Or managers from various sections other than cybersecurity. It's important that you're able to um, translate very complicated technical topics in layman's terms, basically, right? To break these concepts down so that anyone can understand exactly what you're saying and you're able to communicate effectively. So that's very important. And as for compile ongoing reports, um, yeah, yeah, you're definitely going to be, creating reports on your cybersecurity posture, where you're at, where you want to be, how you're going to get there, type of deal. And you're definitely going to be keeping on top of the latest trends, threat intelligence, and utilizing that information to help secure the landscape and the cybersecurity within your organization. So that's very cool. Let's look at security engineer. So security engineers develop and implement security solutions using threats and vulnerability data, often sourced from members of the security workforce. Security engineers work across uh, circumventing a lot of attacks, including web application attacks, network threats, and evolving trends and tactics. The ultimate goal is to retain and adapt security measures to mitigate the risk of attack and data loss. Responsibilities: testing and screen security measures across software, monitor network and reports to update systems and mitigate vulnerabilities, identify and implement system needs for optimal security. Yeah, so just making sure that you're securing your system, you have defense in depth, you've established some security controls to secure that system. Um, those are all some of the things that you would be doing. Could be hands-on if, let's say you're working with like a router or switch, you're trying to like secure that, you're trying to set up a firewall, trying to connect all that. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they have some learning paths for that. Let's go to incident responder. So I'm also an incident responder, so let's check out what they say an incident responder is. So incident responders respond proactively and effectively to security breaches. Responsibilities include create plans, policies, and protocols for organizations to enact during the following incidents. This is often a highly pressurized position with assignments and response requiring real time as attacks are unfolding. Incident response metrics include MTTD, MTTA, and MTTR, the mean time to detect, acknowledge, and recover from the attack. The aim is to achieve a swift and effective response, retain financial standing, and avoid negative breach implications. Ultimately, incident responders protect the company's data, reputation, and financial standing for cyber attacks. Responsibilities: develop and adapt a thorough, actionable incident response plan, maintain strong security best practices and supporting incident response measures, post-incident response and preparation for future attacks, consider learning and adaptations to take from incidents. All right, so yeah, incident responders, you're definitely going to, follow that incident from cradle to grave, and you're going to be measuring the progress of that as well as just triaging it, communicating, and trying to prevent further adverse action or, um, malicious action from the threat actor. So yeah, those are all things that you would do as incident responder. And of course, communication is key because you're going to have to communicate with various stakeholders while you're responding to an incident. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Digital Forensics Examiner. If you like to play detective, this might be the perfect job. If you are working as part of a law enforcement department, you would be focused on collecting and analyzing evidence to help solve crimes, charging the guilty, and exonerating the incident. On the other hand, if your work falls under defending a company's network, you'll use your forensic skills to analyze incidents such as policy violations. Responsibilities: collect digital evidence while observing legal procedures, analyze digital evidence to find answers related to the case, document your findings, and report on the case. Yeah, so if you're going to work with law enforcement, then you definitely gain some digital forensics examiner skills. And yeah, you can use that within the company as well. Let's say you have an employee and they're up to no good. You're probably gonna have to investigate that employee, and you may develop some forensics and examiner skills along the way while you're looking through their emails or you're trying to mirror their traffic from the switch. So you're trying to collect their traffic, you're trying to see what are they up to. Perhaps you're looking at their hard drive and trying to determine, if they're hiding anything in their hard drive. Since it's all owned by the company, you'd be able to do all those things. So let's go ahead and move on to task 6, malware analysis. All right, so works involves analyzing suspicious programs, discovering what they do, and write reports about their findings. A malware analysis is sometimes called a reverse engineer, as their core task revolves around converting compiled programs from machine language to readable code, usually in low-level languages. This work requires the malware analysis to have a strong programming background, especially in low-level programming, such as assembly language and C language. The ultimate goal is to learn about all the activities that the malicious program carries out, find out how to detect it, and report it. Responsibilities: carry out statistical analysis for malicious programs, which entails reverse engineering, conduct dynamic analysis of malware samples by observing their activities in a controlled environment, document and report all findings. So yeah, this is pretty cool. You're gonna run the malware in a dynamic environment, maybe like a sandbox. You can see what it does. You're gonna look through it in a static environment where you're actually like reading the code if possible. But sometimes if you're looking at machine language, You're just trying to understand the logic behind it. TryHackMe has quite a few rooms that will teach you a little bit about this, and it's a pretty cool topic. Go ahead and move on to the next one. Penetration tester. You may see penetration testing referred to pen testing and ethical hacking. A penetration tester's job role is to test the security of the systems and software within the company. This is achieved through attempting to uncover flaws and vulnerabilities. Through systematically hacking, penetration testers exploit these vulnerabilities to evaluate the risk in each instance. The company can then take these insights to rectify issues to prevent a real-world cyber attack. Responsibilities: conduct tests on computer systems, networks, and web-based applications. Perform security assessments, audits, and analyze policies. Evaluate and report on insight, recommending action for attack prevention. And yeah, so your penetration, offensive pen testing will teach you some of the skills to become like a penetration tester. This is probably the most sought after skill if you're here on TryHackMe. This is what you're trying to learn. But the great thing about being a penetration tester is that you don't have to get paid or hired by these Fortune 500 companies. You simply learn the skills and you can go do bug bounties right off the bat, start making money, right? Although it requires that you understand your target. That's how you're able to find vulnerabilities within it. So yeah, that's a little bit about. All right, so we'll go on to task 8, red teamer. So red teamers are similar to penetration testers with a more targeted job role. Penetration testers look to uncover many vulnerabilities across systems to keep the cyber defense in good standing, while red teamers are enacted to test the company's detection and response capabilities. This job requires imitating cyber criminal actions, emulating malicious attacks, retaining access, and avoiding detection. Red team assessments can run for up to a month, typically by teams external to the company. They are often best suited to organizations with mature security programs in place. Responsibilities: emulate the role of a threat actor to uncover exploitable vulnerabilities, maintain access and avoid detection, assess organization security controls, threat intelligence, and incident response procedures, evaluate and report on insights with actionable data for the company to avoid real-world instances. So red teamer. This one's interesting because I feel like the main difference is that red teamers, they emulate APTs, like advanced persistent threats. For instance, like Russia or China, they'll actually follow their TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures while they're hacking. Whereas, pen testers, they just sometimes just throw whatever at the system, and once they gain system level privileges or root level privileges, hey, I own that box, right? Whereas red teaming, there's more of a methodology to it. There's more of like, there's more like TTPs that you have to follow there. So that's pretty interesting. We'll move on to the quiz. So let's see here. The room provides you with a general overview of the different careers in cybersecurity. We'll click on this to view the site. Let's see what we get here. If I was stranded on an island. Okay, so what it's asking here is it's just trying to gain an understanding of you, and then based off of what you provide here, it will recommend that you go into a specific role in cybersecurity. I've never liked these because six answers aren't, in my mind, good enough to define what I should be doing for the rest of my life. So, if you're trying to determine which route to go, just most likely you're going to start off as a cybersecurity analyst, to be honest with you, because that's usually like the entry level. And maybe if you have like a network engineering background, maybe like a network admin, it's easier for you to go into like security engineering as well. Or if you're a coder, it's easier to go into malware analysis because now you can just transition those skills over. And as for penetration tester, for that one, I would say if you're able to think outside the box, then maybe you're best suited for a penetration tester. Although at the end of the day, these are all skills that you can learn. So just because you have a certain personality or just because, you know, you're able to land a certain job doesn't mean that that's the only job you can do. You can always develop new skills and move laterally into these other positions. So if I was stranded on an island, the first thing I would do is try to build a raft home, scope the island for potential threats, gather food, and plan the next step, find a way to send SOS, build a shelter to prevent potential attacks. I'll build a shelter. Yeah. But then it depends. Like, what's the weather like, right? Am I expecting snow at night? You definitely need to build a shelter because it's going to be cold and you want to be out exposed to the elements. You want to build a shelter. But, you know, if I'm on an island with sun and it's nice, I don't have to worry about, some freaking deadly creature trying to eat me at night, then, what does it matter? So let's see. In my spare time, what do I like to do? Tinker with new technology, understand how it works, watch crime-solving shows. I feel like if you did that one, then it would pretty much put you in the digital forensics examiner. Keep busy by learning something new. Find what? Okay. Geocaches in my neighborhood. Keep up and maintain my home through DIY projects. I'd say I just like learning something new, honestly. If I could buy a fictional celebrity dinner, it would be Tony Stark, Sherlock Holmes, Yoda from Star Wars, Bruce Wayne from Batman. Oh man, this is tough. Between Bruce Wayne and Yoda. Huh. Oh man, which one should I choose? I think it would be Bruce Wayne, because he's rich. All right, he's gonna pay. Yeah, we're gonna have a good dinner. All right, my favorite game is Battleship, that one, chess, hide and seek, Risk. What? Uh-huh. I wish they had it like Halo and Call of Duty on here because I don't play any of these to be honest with you. Let's go with Battleship. I used to play Battleship when I was little. I'm best described as curious, strategic, calm under pressure, mischievous, practical. Yeah, I would say I'd say I'm pretty strategic. My favorite movie is Back to the Future, The Matrix, Terminator, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. Ooh, I really liked dinosaurs when I was younger, so I'm gonna go with Jurassic Park, but the rest of them are pretty good. Hey, says I'm a cyber engineer. This is actually kind of cool because I'm actually trying to go that route. And so yeah, it just says, hey, I'm a cyber engineer. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, and then it recommends that you do some of these rooms. All right, that's awesome. Actually, I finished this one. I don't remember if I did this one. I don't really care too much about that one because it's pretty security. I feel like I already know that. Offensive pen testing, almost done with that one. I just need a few more rooms left for that one. So we'll go ahead and close this out. And guys, I'm just gonna add a little bonus to this. So, there's a huge question out there. Do I need a degree to get into cyber? No. No, you don't. I've met plenty of people who didn't get a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. Or it could be like me. I got, a computer information technology degree. But I didn't get a cybersecurity degree, but still a technical degree, so it checks the box for HR. Usually whenever HR asks me, do you have a degree? And I say, yes, just check the box. That's literally all it does. Very rarely will they ask me, well, what did you do in your degree? What did you learn? Most of the times they're just interested in whether or not it's a bachelor's degree and if it's a technical degree. That's literally all they care about. So they don't care what school you went to. They don't care what the degree was in. It could have been in computer science, could have been in information technology, it could have been in managing information systems, could have been cybersecurity. At the end of the day, they check the box and they move on. So, you know, I think my degree was pretty good because I learned coding in it. I learned everything from like networking to cybersecurity. So I just felt like there's a lot of broad topics in that degree path, and I was able to learn a lot of skills, gain a lot of certifications, and at the end of it, um, I was able to eventually land a job in cybersecurity. So it opens doors for you, sure, but that's it. I think a degree would just open more doors for you. I don't recommend people go and get themselves into $50,000 to $100,000 worth in debt just to attain a college level degree. Like, oh man. See, because I just served in the military 4 years, served in the Marines, and you know, I was able to go through college for free with my GI Bill, which by the way is not really free because when you're in the military, if you, I don't know, a lot of people don't know this, but you actually pay into it. So it's not free. You actually have to sign up for it in your first 2 years. I mean, I was poor. I was barely making any money, and they're actually taking money out of my paycheck and then putting in the GI Bill. And then it's kind of like 401k where but you put some money in, they'll like double it. That's kind of what they do with the GI Bill, but you have to pay into it. Like you don't just get it. You have to serve for a certain amount period of time before you get it. So, you know, um, yeah, I mean, hey, nothing was handed to me, but you have to work for it. And I recommend if you're gonna go the degree route, um, first, I would recommend having a job that pays well because I don't understand how people get into debt for that. It's crazy. Join the military maybe. Look for scholarships. Like these are all things that you can do to try to minimize how much debt you get into. So those are just a few tips of mine. Another thing, certificates. Do you need certificates to get into cybersecurity like A plus, Net plus, Sec plus, CCNA, CAS, CISSP? I have all those. Do you need them? No, but if you have them, it'll it'll help open more doors, honestly. And then again, when HR asks you, do you have CISSP or do you have CASP or do you have A plus? And you say yes, just check the box and they move on to the next questions, right? But you're still gonna have to answer questions during the interview. They're still gonna throw some technical questions your way. Like that's just one of many things that you need. Um, so for myself, I have my certificates, I have my degree, and I have my experience. And all three of those together have really helped me land my job in cybersecurity. They've also um, helped me excel within cybersecurity. So now I understand the lingo. I understand um, really how to talk the talk. And I feel like I understand more about some complicated topics, right? Whereas somebody who didn't spend time, didn't invest time in learning about networking or cybersecurity or the different policies, procedures, or regulations that are out there may not know. And I don't understand how they wouldn't. How would somebody be in cybersecurity and let's say you work for a business that handles credit cards, so now you fall under PCI DSS and you have to ensure that your company is in the compliance. And to think that somebody's in cybersecurity and they don't know that just boggles my mind, right? Or maybe you're not aware of the different steps that you would go through in order to create your BCP or the business continuity plan. Like that's kind of scary. So yeah, take some time and learn these things because you're going to come across them, right? Whether you plan to do it through experience, which is golden, but hard to attain because which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Well, that's the thing with cybersecurity, right? You need to have 5 years experience at CISSP. How do you get that if you can't land a job, right? Well, you supplement it. You go and you land a job as, in the help desk or junior sysadmin or network admin. You start off there, right? You build up your skills and then you try to apply internally. And if that doesn't work, you apply externally and just apply. If you think you're not going to get the job, don't let yourself, don't limit yourself, right? Like it's hard enough that you have to get through HR. Now you're limiting yourself because you think that you're not qualified. That boggles my mind. Who's to say you're not qualified to work at NASA? I know this is crazy, right? Well, you can say, well, no, I'm not qualified to work at NASA. Let's say you apply and they actually hire you, and next thing you know, you're working at NASA, you know? And you could be doing anything. You could be a program manager, you can be a coder, you can be working in cybersecurity. Hey, they hired you. They see some potential in you, right? So it's important that you see potential within yourself. At the same time, go out and develop the skills necessary because it's almost gonna be it's gonna be pretty difficult to get into um, to land an interview if you don't have these skills. But it happens all the time. And I'll tell you, my first cybersecurity job, um, I applied for it and I kind of laughed about it because I was like, no, I'm not gonna get this. Like, oh no, I don't think I'll get this. And I actually got the job. And it came with a pretty big salary raise too. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, right? Like, I didn't limit myself. I didn't say, hey, I couldn't get this job. I applied. I thought, I'm probably not going to get this job, but I got it. Who knows? Don't limit yourself though, because I see it all the time. I have friends who are still working the help desk. Oh, God bless their hearts. Um, and they limited themselves, and they're still limiting themselves. Maybe they like it, you know? Like I can understand why somebody might like that because it's easy sometimes, right? Or if you're like junior sysadmin, you don't have as much responsibility. May- I'm not sure, but if you're in that position, definitely talk to your PM, talk to your project manager, try to get them to move you. And if that doesn't work, apply externally, see what's available, analyze the market, and when you ask for, your salary, make sure you research your market value. So if you've been in IT for X amount of years, you may not have worked specifically in cybersecurity, but you worked in cyber. You did something within cyber, right? If you're a system admin or network admin, there's things that you did that were cyber related, right? Everything from setting up VLANs, segmenting to network, responding to incidents, triaging incidents. Like you've got to compile a list of the things that you did that were cyber related and try to match that to the job description, right? That way you have a good chance of landing an interview and hopefully landing the job. So, these are just a few tips I'm giving you. I hope to see more people join the cybersecurity field. I hope you join the cybersecurity field if maybe you're not already in it. And I think the best thing you could do at this time is like and subscribe. No, no, seriously though, I have some really good content coming out. You guys are gonna love it. So, highly recommend you do that. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment section. Let's talk about it. But that's all I have. Enough of my ranting. All right, Danny out. Have a good one.